My name is Irv Ruppel. I'm a member of an organization known as like SCORE. What we do is counsel with small businesses. My personal background is that I've helped some 350 small business clients recognize how to get started in business as well as running a business itself. What we do at SCORE is that we end up counseling people on a voluntary basis on helping them in all issues such as deciding, should I be in business for myself and what should I do if I do? And then additionally, in some instances, we continue to work with them even on a voluntary basis, and we become mentors for them, work with them for years on end. All facets of it, from those arenas where what should be their business structure, making so darn much money now that I need to figure out some sort of thing, so I helped set up some 50 401k plans, about 40 individual qualified plans, things of that nature. What I generally do in this kind of a discussion is I start off having that person be sure he or she understand what it ought to be for them to be personally in order for them to have a success. Such things as self-starting ability. Do you have the ability to start for yourself? Yeah. If you don't, that's fine. Just don't try to go into business. Am I a risk taker? Because I guarantee if you're going to go into business, there'll be times when you take risks. Am I emotionally suited so that everybody of my employees get paid, but on occasion I may not get paid? Am I feel strongly enough about in my business and aware of it and closely enough to aware of it that I can end up being flexible enough to make changes when it warrants that it make change. Those are the issues that, just some of the issues that I would talk about in depth about whether or not you ought to even consider the business. Once that problem has been solved, then we may get into discussions of how should I structure it, how should I be an LLC, a corporation, things of that nature. If you're making, once you get to the point where you're making a lot of money, how can I help you in a tax deferral arrangement in such arenas as qualified sick pay plans, Section 125 plans, qualified 401ks, qualified pension, profit sharing plans, target plans. Then there's a day when you may want to say, you know, I think I'd like to retire, and how do I effectively get out of this business and get the best out of it for me and my family? We work in such areas as even in the non-qualified arena in helping people determine whether or not they ought to consider becoming a non-qualified plan. Hopefully that works best for them, and we use that. Now, sources of additional help. I find that one of the most effective tools in helping people are the various public libraries. Most of them have a business section. They end up giving you a resource, particularly if you've got a particular business in mind. It'll give you a chance to research what other people are doing in businesses similar to yours, from the standpoint of how it's structured, how should I charge my fees, how should I get to the point where I'm maybe too big for one and too small for two, yet I need to expand. How do I effectively go about that? All of that stuff can be helpful. Allowably, that's one of the major sources. If you're in a business that people come to you, it's important that you recognize one thing: location, location, location. It's important to do that. It may be such as you have to sit on that corner you think you ought to go to and see what kind of traffic is that helps you decide whether that's important. Another factor that you need to consider is timing, particularly as the economy is today. Many times I'm urging people that you might have an idea that is effective, but is this the right time to get into it? And do you understand what it takes to be a business owner, and what kind of risks that you will have that may be beyond the normal, particularly as our economy is today, not only here, but worldwide. And so that may be we are it's fundamentally important that you build a business plan. We end up having workshops that help you design your own business plans. It's interesting to me how many businesses don't have them, but you wouldn't see the football team or not have a plan of how they're going to go about playing their game. So is it in a structured business, and you need to work on a one-to-one basis with that. If there's a how do I go about golden handcuffing the employees that are fundamentally important to me? For example, in my particular practice, I had an associate with me for 28 years prior to my retirement, and I golden handcuffed her to where she couldn't go to work anyplace else, because she was terribly important. She was a profit maker to me, and I wanted to make sure we established the programs that will allow her to be able to feel she was even a part of my planning plan. She was on my board, all of that sort of thing. So that's fundamentally important. Going into business is not a thing that, one of the things I'm concerned about now is the amount of people who are unemployed now decide they want to go into business. That is not exactly the best time to be going into business. Unemployed person deciding I'm going to business because I haven't got a job does not necessarily help that you would be successful. If there's any way we can do that. So our counseling service is such that we work with you from A to Z. We necessarily have one-on-one visits. We have workshops that we put on a basis that are desirous and rather inexpensive. We do charge for those. Our counseling is all free. Our mentoring is all free. One of the more recent things we've done is for those businesses that have been established a year or two, we have a financial review in which we go to this person and we get up to 160 questions of his practice. 2 or 3 of us get together and review this and review what that person said the facts are of his business, what his or her attitude is as to the relation to those facts, and what are his goals and objectives. We then come back to him with a written recommendation of how he can begin, or he or she can begin to move on another direction. We've done that in the last year or so, and we find that to be terribly helpful. Hopefully, it's been a worthy thing for us. And in conclusion, if you have a SCORE facility close to you, and we got 380 chapters in the United States, and about 10,500 of us do it, make yourself known with them and see whether or not they might be able to help you get set up to going into business, as well as help you operate your business as it goes along, and it allows you to have a chance to become the success you want to be. You done?